What's up, guys? Doug here with Team Climate Control. And
now Team Climate
what
Control.
do we have today, sir?
Yo, we have Junk Doppel for you guys.
Junk Doppel.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
Alright, so the thing about Junk Doppel is that it always works best with a good boss monster core. So I actually went with a little bit of a different core and went with 4 boss monsters instead of standard 3 or 2.
Oh, snap.
So BLS, Dark Arm, Gores, Chaos Sorcerer.
yes.
BLS, it's BLS.
It's BLS.
Dark Arm. This is something that people haven't done in years in Junk Doppel.
I completely agree with it. I love it.
Now, the reason why I went behind Dark Arm isn't really because I felt that Dark Arm got better. It's because with the way the ban list shaped up, it became more necessary. With the lack of avarice, our darks more often than not stay in the graveyard, and we have to be careful which darks we go back into. And with more darks that can just stay in grave, Dark Arm just becomes so much better.
Graveyard control is very important.
Yeah, I dropped him like once all day, but I don't, and I sided him out every game, but I just felt that Dark Arm was too good. Gores is underrated in my opinion in this format. I don't see anybody playing it, but if you drop this even early game, you can almost just make a comeback off him.
Okay.
And Sorcerer, I don't know how I feel about it. I dropped him a couple times, but he didn't do too much.
Okay.
So I don't know if I would keep the sword.
How do you feel about that as a card at 2 instead of 1?
As a card, or
Not in Junk Doppel,
As a
but
card.
just Chaos Sorcerer this format at 2. Do you think that matters?
I mean, there's nothing really big chaosing, like no big chaos going on. If chaos got something that made it a push again, I definitely feel this would be a lot more impacting.
Okay.
But as of right now, I feel like
Fair
it's
enough.
just-
I agree.
Something that I immediately overlooked for the longest time: 2 Color Serpent and 2 Wyvern Buster, aka Ebony and Ivory, as they were
And
known.
that is the reason I ask about the Chaos Sorcerer.
Yeah,
Because
these guys.
they're really good.
So, back when I was trying to make this deck around the point of Judgment of the Light, I was trying to Mask Chameleon build with Mask Chameleon, Photon Thrasher, Baby Raccoon Ponpoko, Level Eater, Swift Scarecrow, a bunch of other monsters that had 0 defense, and in theory had synergy with the deck. The problem with that build was that you had to draw your targets. You can't mill a Photon Thrasher and summon off Chameleon. The Baby Raccoon sucks if you don't get the right go off of it. Level Eater was subpar unless you play Quick Draw, which I don't. And Scarecrow was good,
Wait,
but
no quick draw.
no Quick Draw Synchro.
Thank you, sir. You get a handshake.
Thank you. I am personally against Quick Draw Synchron with a passion.
Love it.
My argument, I understand why people play Quick Draw, because if you establish a Drill Warrior loop, you eventually make more out of it than what you invested into it. The problem is that you have to invest too many turns into the Drill Warrior loop to get back what you invested in the first place. Because unless you have the Dandy Quick Draw play, you're discarding a card for Quick Draw, you're discarding a card for Drill Warrior, and you've already lost the Drill Warrior by that point. And not to mention, when you Synchro, you inherently neg at least 1. So that's already a -4 right there. Drill Warrior comes back and gives you the +1, and then getting back a card is another +1, but you're still at a -2 at that point. So you have to establish another turn with the Drill Warrior loop, plus you have to discard again to get rid of it, so it's just not worth it in my opinion. It's too much inherent negging to attempt to reach a plus.
Yeah, I'd rather plus more short term.
Yeah.
I
Plus,
agree.
the thing I love about these guys is that they're so synergetic with the deck. Like, I'll show you some of the a few of the combos with this deck, but these guys can turn a junk baby Chaos Dragon into a level 7, a level 5, and 3 cards in hand, with one of them being another dragon.
Nice.
1 Debris. I wish this was at 2, because I wound up actually learning of a 2-card Star Eater play with Debris Dragon, but sadly it's at 1.
Real quick, that is Turbo Pack
Turbo Pack, super.
and sexy.
I don't like the ulti. That's silly.
Okay.
3 of probably the best card in this entire deck, Junk Synchron.
Junk Synchron, very, very good.
For the veterans of Junk and Debris, you would know how good this
I'm
card
gonna
is.
switch over here, get the little glare.
Yeah. The deck used to be called Junk and Debris before it was Junk Doppel, so a little history lesson for you.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not play back in the day.
Back in 09, OCG called it Litter, and we adopted the name Junk Doppel.
Okay.
2 Lone Fire Blossom. I'm so glad this went with the 2, and I'm glad the supers.
Those are supers, right?
These are both super Lone Fires.
Not enough German.
I'm not gonna go that far.
Fair enough.
But yeah, Lone Fire. It coming back to 2 helped out a lot. It's just that it's always awkward when you draw multiple pieces of your plant engine, but it's gonna happen because it's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Right.
2 Card Trooper, I have an ugly common I want it gone, but admittedly, I kind of wound up going back to the older logic on this, where people will say, "Oh, you only play 1 or you don't even play it at all." 2 gets you places. 2 lets you run over or force cranes out of the Abujin players. It runs over big problems.
I have a question.
Yeah,
But that one's not Ultra.
I know.
We just covered that.
I don't need another Ultra.
You don't need it?
I need another one.
Okay.
I want it, but yeah.
So I was going to ask you about that. I am glad that you explained that with the Card Trooper, the second one.
Yeah.
Because I completely agree with everything.
Yeah, and plus it's a debris dragon target at worst case basis, or you just chain call to their MS team.
We talked about evening on your plus minuses.
Yeah, which is definitely a thing that I feel like this deck is.
Yep.
Dandy,
It's not ulti.
I don't care for the LT. It's
Alright, I'm done trolling.
Thank you.
It's Dandy. Dandy's Dandy.
Dandy is dandy.
2 doppel.
2 dollars.
Some people are saying you need to play 3. I disagree with it. I side 1 out every single game.
Really?
I side 1 out every single game.
So it's half of the name of the deck,
Yes.
and you only play it at 1 games 2 and 3.
Yes. My logic
Okay.
behind it is
Yes, explain this. Logic me.
when you get into games 2 and 3, the deck, people hopefully, if your opponent is smart, they'll hopefully understand how this deck works, or at least under basic mechanics of it. So they're going to side more cards like Max C, Effect Veiler, things that stop your plays. So you switch from just combo.deck to a smarter, more linear / smart that I am hate to use this verbiage, but like a smart deck where the 1 doppel warrior has to matter more. Multiple doppels just clumps in game 2, but you need to see it in game 1 to make the plays.
Okay.
It gets you Star Eater, it gets you Quasar, it gets you those power
So
plays,
it wins game 1,
and then comes out game
but
2.
comes out game 2 because it
You need-
uses synergy.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Something that I know is going to be a little controversial, I do 3 Raikou.
Wow. Okay. Explain this to me.
So a lot of people like to do 2 Raikou, 1 Lila. And I have tested that format after format after format, and I realized I never liked it. I could not stand the Lila. The Lila was the problem to me in that ratio.
It's true, he complained a lot about that Lila.
Lila, in my opinion, is an incredibly subpar card in this particular deck. Lila doesn't offer any extra synergy outside of milling or destroying a back row once every other turn, which I don't like. The 1700 body on Lila isn't relevant, and
I'm not talking about lights ones.
it's jumped off.
I was about to say, what are you smoking?
In Lights Run, I'd say it's completely different, but the reasoning that I like 3 Raikou is because Raikou, in my opinion, alongside Junk Synchron, is the best card in this entire deck. I would say this is more powerful than arguably even BLS.
That general destruction,
Yes.
and the milling 3 cards, really good.
Not even just that. It's the fact that this is both a junk and debris target. It fuels all of your chaos stuff. It's so powerful.
Raikou it should be called Junk Doppel Raikou.
Yes. If I could, I would make Raikou a part of this deck's name.
Junk Raikou.
Junk Raikou, yeah. For level 1s, I played the 1 Spore.
And that is the most adorable little hat on that spore.
If magical hats, it's a thing. It's kind of representative to my main channel's character, or he wears a magical hat, so that's kind of why I did that. 2 Veiler. I don't like 3. I never have. And I mean, that's it. I've considered other hand traps like Scarecrow, Rainbow Karibo, and Max C. Max C, I want to maybe main 1, but I don't know how I feel about it. Rainbow Karibo, I don't feel it does enough right now.
Okay.
But Scarecrow is still a consideration. I've kind of wanted it a couple times today, but just because when you have that awkward board presence, but it might also be a fair.
How do you feel about Ghost Trick Jack Frost?
I like the card, actually. I love it, and it might be a thing for me, but I would have to test it, just because I do like the fact that it is a monster that sits on board and you can do plays.
And it's dark.
And it's dark.
And level 1.
And level 1.
Okay.
So,
awesome.
onto the spells. Foolish is foolish. You need it.
Yep.
1 Roto, 1 Tuning. I know people will get in my case about playing the Tuning when I only play the 3 Junk Synchron, but I want to see the Junk because I like searching Doppel more often than not with Roto. Or I just like getting 2 Junks.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with it.
Deck thinning is always good.
Yeah. Charge, aka
Because it is
grab Ryko that card. 1-for-1. I had moments where this was iffy for me because the monsters in my hand were too important to discard, but I needed to discard something to get a level 1 to make a play. But I mean, I don't think I'd cut it, though. I wish we had another level 1 tuner.
Okay.
Dark Hole, Book of Moon. I'm iffy on Book right now because some matches I'm just like, why did I play this card? But some matches are like, I can't ever drop this card.
Fair enough.
2 MST. I don't like 3. 3 always clumps. Plus, I have 3 Rykos, so it's almost like I'm playing 5 MST.
Yeah, I mean, 3 MST in the main board right now is a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then I play, for my last bit of the spells, 2-Potted Dichotomy.
That's hot.
Some people will say that Dichotomy is just a flat-out bad card and should never be played in anything. I disagree with that in this instance. And in other instances like Constellars and things like that.
Okay.
You don't have to go ham every turn. There are turns where you're just going to set a monster and want to pass.
So you mean it's okay to play this card and then set a Ryko and pass?
Yeah.
Even though you don't get a battle phase?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay.
So, I mean, passing a battle phase doesn't hurt. There was one time where passing a battle phase hurt, but it didn't matter because they do got Dark Hole anyways.
How much have you tested Dichotomy in this?
I tested it back when it was announced as a card, and I tested it alongside one Avarice 2 Dichotomy. However, even if Avarice were to come back, I would always play 1.
Okay, cool.
Because one problem that Junk Temple had in the past, when we even had Avarice, was recyclability. We needed something else, and Dichotomy gave us that.
Awesome.
And
Love it.
I only play 4 traps, which is more than the norm. 1 Mirror Force, 1 Torrential, the 1 Call the Haunted, and the 1 Trap Stun.
Okay. So you are playing the 1 Torrential,
Yes.
which I understand. The 1 Trap Stun, which I understand. 1 Call of the Haunted, which I understand. Mirror Force. Arguably the best trap card in the game right now.
Yeah,
You are playing at 1.
I'm weird about Mirror Force, honestly, because I've tested it at 2 multiple times, but every time I play it at 2, it never does anything exceptional for me. I always see the 1 when I need it the most. If I play smart with the 1 Mirror Force, it does wonders. 2 doesn't do anything. And honestly, if I were to change the traps, I'd arguably take out Trap Stun. Trap Stun, in my opinion, was the most lackluster card for me the entire day. I never got it off. I always just milled it, and I never had situations where, like, if I drew that Trap Stun, I would have won.
Okay.
It might be a breakthrough skill. It might be a skill prisoner. I'm not sure what I want to do with this.
Skill Prisoner. I love that card.
I am honestly considering skill prisoner because there are so many moments where you want to summon your dudes and attack, and you know the opponent has the potential to make a 101. Knowing, like, I had to play around 101 so much today. Like, I would drop my Gores or my Synchros all in defense, and then my opponent would just summon 101 and blindly think they could take my dude. But 101 reads has to go in attack.
So we are at our locals.
Yeah.
We played 4 rounds tonight. How many 101s did you see dropped on you?
2 or 3, I believe.
In 4 rounds.
Yeah.
And we had, 10 people play?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good percentage.
Yeah, and because I always summon my dudes in defense, I never once had anything stolen from me by a 101.
Fair enough. And that is Yu-Gi-Oh! 101. You need to know that. No
Yeah.
pun intended. Summon your Draco, Saxon defense kids.
Yeah, summon, unless you have a reason for summoning your dudes in attack, keep them in defense, because 101 on its own changed the game.
Yes. I have my own theories about why you should be playing 3, but we can talk about that another time.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the extra deck.
Alright, the extra deck is the tightest thing I've ever had to work with in this deck.
Real quick, are those Cardfight Vanguard sleeves?
Platinum ASL sleeves, I love them.
You got those from me. Amazing. Okay.
The 1 formula,
Obvious.
1 Mistbird.
Okay.
You need it.
Yes.
We've needed a level 3 synchro for so long. We finally got it.
Agreed. When they said Synchro was dead,
Yeah. 1 Armory Arm.
because Armory Arm is Armory Arm.
We need the building block.
OTK with the BLS.
And OTK with BLS. Cataster.
Yes.
Armades.
Okay,
Hyper
can
Librarian.
you stay over here because
Oh,
you're kind of
sure.
glaring me a little bit.
So Cataster, Armades, Hyper Librarian.
Armades, talk to me about this guy.
Oh my god, I love this card. This thing is a monster. In the Bujin matchup, you can just give them the bird and make them suck on your dick.
How do you feel about that, John?
I don't feel anything because it's all true. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, if you can establish these two against Bujins, there's almost nothing they can do. Except try and maybe make a 101, but that's going to get them around one, not the other.
And we only run one club.
Yeah. And plus, the kind of crappy part about it is that if he runs into stuff like 101 or Zen mains, they still get to detach and protect because that's a continuous effect, but I love it. I want to play the level 5 Dragon Synchro once we get Advent of the Duelist, and I have no idea what I'm going to cut for him, but it's all in consideration.
So you have the tightest extra deck you've ever played, and you're already talking about
Yeah, I'm talking about 2 sets in the future.
2 sets in the future, what you're going to cut.
Yeah. Psyhemith and Iron Chain. I'm not sure how I feel about Psyhemith right now. I only had one matchup where I needed him, and I completely forgot he was there, but he would have won me my game.
Okay.
I do plan to cut him post the next set, because we do get a level 4 Dragon Synchro that becomes 1 to 3, like any level from 1 to 4, which I love. But, I mean, for now, I'm probably going to play Psyhemith just because if you face Sandayu locks, which is what I needed him for, you just need it. It's honestly kind of bad.
And Iron Chain Dragon. You like Iron Chain?
I prefer Iron Chain to Orient Dragon.
Okay.
In every situation. Like, a lot of people say milling, making the opponent mill is a bad thing. Maybe it's just my dumbass luck, but, like, even when I go against stuff like Lightsworns, like, back when they had 2 JD, I made them mill their 2 JD, their Reincarnation. Next turn, I made them mill their 2 Beckoning Lights. And they never saw their JDs that game.
Okay. Well, you are just one lucky son of a bitch.
I am a lucky son of a bitch. This could easily be Orient of on preference. I just don't like Orient because I don't feel there's enough synchro relevancy to, per se, make Orient worth it. Plus, if Orient could get rid of Leo, Defender of the Sacred Tree, I believe is what the card's called, I would definitely be playing.
By the way, broken dot card.
I need to. I actually almost was able to make it today, but I didn't have it in my extra, and I might possibly find her for it. I might drop Psyhemith for Leo, but I'll have to test that.
You really think Iron Chain Dragon is better than Psyhemith?
You need the level 6 dragon. Debris has to have a level 6 dragon.
Okay, fair enough.
The one French Ghost, Black Ghost Dragon.
Hot.
I love it.
Hot.
Got it for 20 at Gen Con, so
That's insane.
yeah. And then something that I'm doing, one Junk Berserker.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
The thing
Jump Berserker. Let's talk about this.
Okay, so I know people don't know what the hell he does.
Yeah, you've got me there.
Pretty much what he does is you can banish any junk monster in your grave, take an opponent's monster, and have that monster's attack reduced by the junk monster's attack. So if you banish a junk synchron, their dude goes down by 1,300.
Okay.
And not to mention, if he attacks a defense position monster, destroy the monster without applying damage calc.
Nice.
So basically, he's a 2,700 point body that just tramples over stuff.
Okay.
Not to mention with the baby Chaos Dragons, if that's good.
Yep.
The baby Chaos Dragons, actually, he's a part of the Major Plus combo. And you need him. You do need him desperately.
Cool. And you will show us this combo, right?
Yeah, I will be showing you the Major Plus combo. If you want, I can show you the 2-card Quasar combo and the 2-card Star Eater combo.
I love all of those things.
Okay. Stardust and Scrap. I was playing Spark for a while, but I just had to cut him, unfortunately.
Why no Crimson Blader?
It's arguable, and plus, with how tight this extra deck is, you need to make sure that your dudes are dragons.
Okay. Fair
Because
enough.
Debris can...
Because of Debris?
Yeah, Debris has to go into dragons. And arguably you say, oh, cut Debris so your extra deck's a little bit more free.
I disagree with that completely.
I feel like Debris is too strong of a card because it makes a 1-card Black Rose. Plus, the only thing you really get is being able to make Iron Chain whatever. And even then, you'd probably just make that an Orient or some other card of preference. Shooting Star, I never drop it, but it's there because of Quasar, if they manage to get around your Quasar. Star Eater, another arguable card. I haven't dropped him, but there have been so many situations where I could. And again, you have the 2-card Star Eater play.
I mean, let's be realistic. If
you can drop
Erratic Ruler has taught us anything, it is a Star Eater is a good card.
Yep. Then Quasar, the boss-ass bitch.
Yes.
Never dropped him all day, unfortunately, but it's so easy to do it.
So I heard you tell me earlier that Raiko and Junk Warrior are the most or Junk Synchron are the most important cards in the deck.
Yeah,
More important than Quasar?
more important than Quasar.
Okay.
I
All
mean,
right.
Quasar is the boss monster, like the ultimate boss monster of the deck.
It is not more than the sum of its whole, of its parts.
Yeah.
Okay.
If the deck is weak, then Quasar is weak.
Fair enough.
Just because tokens, I don't play goats anymore.
All of the tokens. He played Ghost for forever.
Yeah, I used to play Scapegoats for the longest time, but I took it out.
Annoying as... Also, I noticed no Thunder King Ryo. I have a personal hatred for your particular Thunder King Ryo.
Yeah, everybody here at this place hates my Thunder King Ryle because I always draw it at the perfect moments.
Yeah, let's not go into that.
Honestly, it's just... I mean, I don't like Thunder King in the main right now because with it being at 1 and the trap lineup being as small as it is, I don't feel like it's worth it right now.
Konami did him dirty
I feel like they did him too dirty too hard.
too many times in a row.
Yeah.
Okay.
If he were at 2, back in here in a heartbeat.
Okay. See you, bud. All right. Let's go on to this side deck.
Alright, this side is very rough. I plan to change it a
Okay.
lot. But
Talk to me about the level of competition we're talking about. Is this the locals playtesting side?
I kind of like to make my sides not necessarily for like particular environments, just general sides. Like if I were to say go to the regionals, locals, or like some other big tournament, I'd like it as strong as possible without having to consider too much like, oh, this is this environment, so I have to play this card.
Okay.
I want my side just...
How meta relevant do you think this side deck is?
After...
Maybe a better question.
Probably not as meta relevant as it should be, because I probably sided a bit too much for matchups I shouldn't have been afraid of. But I will change this side. This is the draft one for this format because I haven't played this deck in a year. Oddly
Okay,
enough.
so we are testing. This is
a test side.
This is the test side deck. That's what we were getting at.
Yeah. So test side.
Okay, well, let's start with it.
2 ally salvo. The problem with this deck is that you can't side Light Imprisoning Mirror, Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, or Soul Drain. Meaning Boojins and Constellars, and if you consider it, Thunder Family can have their way with you with other light monsters. So this punishes them for playing light monsters. For people who don't know what ally salvo does,
That would be me.
if he dies by battle and is sent to the graveyard, buy a light monster, pick any 2 cards on the board and pop them.
Nice.
He's also a dark, he's a junk and debris dragon target. It has good synergy with the deck. I like Salvo. I sided him in once and I still lost that matchup, but I don't really feel like I would cut it.
Okay.
Double Max C.
Because it is double max C.
It's double Max C.
Needs no explanation.
Plus junk and debris.
Those secret maxis.
Yeah, secret Maxis.
I bet you're very excited about that.
I was happy when I got the second. And
How do you feel about the ulti?
I don't really care for it as much.
Okay.
I'm not a big ulti fan.
Fair enough.
This is something I want to change, or at least get another super of. 2 Snowman Eater. I don't like the 1 super, 1 rare. But
Been working on that for a while.
I've been working on this since this card came out as a super. But Snowman Eater, I know it seems kind of contradictory to side both Ally Salvo and Snowman, and I don't know how I feel about it. But if people randomly play Evil Swarm, you need something. I like siding Monster Hit against Boojin, and not to mention Snowman Eater is a debris dragon target. So it still holds synergy. Your side deck stuff still has to hold synergy with your main deck concept.
Yes, it is a debris dragon target, which no Gungnir.
Yeah, no Gungnir.
I love Gungnir.
I miss playing Gungnir.
The
but
feels.
not to mention, I don't play Fire Ferret because this does have synergy with the deck over Fire Ferret. Fire Ferret's just like, okay, I get rid of a monster and deal 500, but I don't do anything else aside from that.
Fair enough.
This is a chunk blocker. This gets rid of their dudes. And it's a
And
debris.
debris.
Target. Yeah.
That's the most important part. Debris target.
The 1 Thunder King.
Yep.
I barely sided him in, but when I saw him, it was wonderful. I miss you, Thunder King.
Thunder King is always clutch anytime you put it on the board.
Yeah, it forces plays. If the opponent can't really directly deal with it, they have to indirectly deal with it and waste resources.
Agreed.
I remember in earlier playtesting, some people had to drop 101s against me when I had like a Stardust and a Thunder King just to get rid of the Thunder King, and then the Stardust could run rampant.
Nice.
I have a fear of Gravekeeper, so I side the 1 Nobleman. It was supposed to be 2, but I didn't have a second super, so I was being greedy about that.
Talk to me later. I will get you another one.
Okay. But, it's for that matchup. It's also against Girgia. because I don't like. I mean, it's a hard matchup for me.
Okay.
So, which is also
and Ghost Tricks.
yeah, and Ghost Trick and
Because they're Antinukits.
yeah, Antinukits.
Because we have people playing that here.
Yeah, 2 system down. This is I probably wouldn't be playing this here if I really did start to differentiate my sides between locals, regionals, and other level tournaments. But I'd be playing this in the higher level tournaments. I again have a bad Yu-Gi-Oh matchup. I don't know how the Cyber Dragon deck really performs yet.
But it is very annoying, so system down rapes it.
Yeah. So that's why I went with the double system down. It's just a thing. I was siding one for a while, and I kept playing against Yu-Gi-Oh matchups. And when I
was one of those.
Yeah, and when I would take this card out, I'd play against even more Yu-Gi-Ohs than ever. And I'm like, damn, and where's my system down? I need it.
Yep. I agree with 2 system downs.
Like, during my first regional, the fact that I didn't have the second system down costed me one of my grounds. So,
okay.
One overworked. I don't know how I feel about it. My Fire Fist matchup is actually easy, believe it or not. I mean, Cardinal Commander is like the only card I care for, but I don't care for Bear. I don't care for a lot of their plays.
How do you feel about the Harpy matchup?
I have actually back when the last time I did the Harpy matchup, I was playing, I believe, roughly 5 to 8 traps.
Okay.
And Hunting Ground was the problem in that matchup. It wasn't really as much their plays. So,
okay.
I mean, I might side this against Harpies. I probably would side this against Harpies if I went against that matchup.
It's the best side deck card for Harpies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know too much how I feel about it, but I would probably side a little bit more for Harpies.
Okay.
2 debunk.
Because debunk.
And Mermail is probably my worst matchup. I hate the Mermail matchup.
How's your Prophecy matchup in this?
I haven't tested it since Prophecies got hit last, where they only had 1 Fate. Because every time I tested against Prophecy, they always had the 2 Fate, and the 2 Fate was the problem.
Okay.
And Priestess, but since people aren't playing Priestess as much, or like they play 1 to none, I would probably want to have to retest that.
Okay.
And because I play no traps, 2 Decree. I can freely side this in. It catches a lot of people off guard, which I'm surprised when you're playing like 20 traps deck. So you can freely side this in. Supposedly, I've heard this rumor going around right now. For the Dawn of the Dragon Dawn set, whatever that's called, that comes out in April with Timaeus and all that. Supposedly, we're getting imports of all the stuff from the Rio and Shark Duelist packs, and if that's true, that means we get a certain card called Diamond Dust in that pack, and I plan to side 2 of those for the Mermail matchup. And for people who don't know what Diamond Dust is,
thank you.
It's a normal trap card. Pop all water monsters on board. The opponent takes 500 per water popped.
That is fantastic because Mermail is terrible.
I do have a terrible Mermail matchup. Plus, you can pop your own Snowman Eaters if you want to be cute. So, I mean, I don't know. I would have to... And plus, we don't get until next format, so Mermail might be hit again. It may just become completely irrelevant. I don't know.
I mean...
Or it might be the best deck of the format. We'll have to see.
Like it arguably is right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's like other between Mermail, Brotherhood. I think Yurgia is up there. Maybe Prophecy, Bujin. I keep hearing, oh, this is the best deck, and it's like, I don't know what...
It depends on if you listen to Patrick Copeland or not.
I don't.
Okay, then Mermail is not the best deck.
Yeah.
Alright, I am going to ask you to give us your combos in another video because we are nearing 30 minutes on this.
Oh, that is a problem.
So I will, we'll get to that on another video. We will get back with you on that.
Alright, sounds good.